Hello everyone, Charles Lane from Dual Lane Productions and the Bible Unbound. Today our friends over at Zondervan had sent us a copy of the NASB Grace and Truth Study Bible. So that way we can check it out and show you guys some of their features and give my opinions on this. Hello everyone, Charles Lane from Dual Lane Productions and the Bible Unbound. Our friends over at Zondervan Publishing had sent us this nice NASB Grace and Truth Study Bible for us to look at. So going through it, this is the New American Standard Bible 1995 text edition. This says it has a 2-layer page design, 16 pages of maps, satin ribbon marker, Smith-Solon durable binding, comfort print at a 9-point font size. So as we look at this, let's take a look at the main side. So outside of the cover, we have this really nice. It even looks good without the dust jacket. So it's the NASB Grace and Truth Study Bible by Zondervan. Open it up to a good presentation page. I like this page. It's nice heavy stock page because it's part of the paste down. So it's the Grace and Truth Study Bible. So you're going through its table of contents. You have the standard Old Testament, New Testament, concordance maps, a list at the top of all the extra add-ons, the preference, the abbreviations, and a quick start guide. Basic idea of the purpose of the Bible, an introduction. And as any of the Bibles that I look at, I always recommend that you read at least the preface one time, at least, to get an idea of their translation philosophy and any extra special helps, hints, or uses. Like some of the reference Bibles that I use, I actually had to go back and figure out what they were meaning by the actual notes and the references. Principles of their translation, the explanation, the general format, abbreviations, and special markings. And as we get into the actual books, so they have these really nice openings where they have the full introduction, like a nice clean for Genesis. It looks like a 2-page opening into the Bible itself. So this is a dual column, center column reference with the actual study notes on the bottom part. It looks like the notes, the actual words of the Bible themselves are in a 9-point font. These, if that's a 9, this is probably an 8, with the center columns being either a 6, probably a 6, because they're slightly smaller than the actual study notes. Now the study notes themselves, while being small, are still very readable. And there's a little bit of ghosting, but it is actually not too bad. Going through, I spent a little bit of time in here and took a look at the notes. I really like the way that they handled some of the notations on here. It's really robust on their referencing. And even the actual translation notes are really, really readable. And I do like that a lot. The color scheme is a basic, it looks like a brownish lines. Chapter notes are the chapter headings, and the actual chapter numberings are that nice bold font there. Jump a little farther past Genesis. Good clean look at the next introduction, Leviticus. So right here is a good example of show through. You got this whole page of no text at all. So the show through, as you see on some Bibles, you see not just the page behind it, but the page past that. When there's text on the page, it's not as noticeable, but when there's a big long section like that, it is. That's by no means a knockdown. You really can't get this thin of a Bible with this much content without having to have the pages just slightly thin. And I think these pages overall are even very readable. In this light, it probably, to me, it looks like it's a little bit more showy or see-through than most people would see. Skip ahead here and we'll grab the ribbon. But before I do, I really like these notes, these charts and maps that you see throughout it. My wife really enjoys this. This may be the type of study Bible she uses more often. She has an NIV version of this, which is basically the same notes, just in the NIV. And I think the text on hers is just slightly larger. And we'll go into get the ribbon. So this comes with a single ribbon. And it looks like it is shiny on both sides, so it's a double-sided ribbon. Nice single ribbon, which complements the color scheme that they have going on. This nice kind of gold brown. And when you get into Psalms, you see a little bit more of the show through, but I like the way that they handle the Psalms. Poetic format. It's without line matching. The show through actually shows a little bit more with the ghosting. But really, really well done. It's clean. It doesn't try to hit you over the head with a whole bunch of extra text. The notes are really, really relative to what you have going on. And the whole philosophy behind the Grace and Truth Bible itself, I actually do enjoy. As we get farther in, we'll go through to the New Testament. And this is a red letter Bible. And the red actually it's not too overpowering. It's a nice lighter red. It complements really well. Some reds, if they're too light, the show through on some Bibles make it kind of hard to read. So this it's not washed out at all. It's really good, really clean. And I really like the way that they present it. And these introductions are so well thought out. So 13, my favorite section, 1 Corinthians 13:4, that love is patient, love is kind, and not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. It does not act unbecomingly and does not seek its own. It is not provoked. It does not take into account a wrong suffered. It does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with truth. And when you come down to the notes here on 4 through 8, where it says Paul describes love by persifying it with 16 action verbs. Love forbears, acts mercifully, does not envy, want. So I really like the way that they present these. Really good information. And the way the NASB translates that section, I really like. I see and I read a lot of different formats. My favorite so far has been the ESV, but I really enjoy the way the NLT reads. And reading through the NASB is going to be probably jumping up on my list on some of the translations that I'm really going to like to read going forward. So we'll jump a little farther. Ephesians. There's a lot of notes on Ephesians. Ephesians is a very well-packed book. I like that. This is just the quantity of notes on here. Some of these are really, really nice. Yeah. Almost more notes than there is actually text in the sections. So this would be really good for going into these deep dives. Yeah. Philippians, Hebrews. Hebrews is another good, well-packed. And you can tell just from Hebrews 1 that they do a really good job of unpacking the notes and explanations of each section. Jump into Revelation, and we'll see where Revelation ends on this one. So probably, so it's going to be here. So Revelation ends on 1839 on this one. And then you get into the study helps and extras in the back of the Bibles here. They have a nice dictionary, concordance, and thesaurus, the Old and New Testament, cleanly laid out. Just like a lot of these key verses, they actually show you snippets of it so you can help dive into what specifically you're looking for. And then we get past this. It's pretty big. There's a pretty big concordance here. So it looks like after the concordance. Now what I'm seeing happening in a lot of the Zondervan study Bibles recently is going to be these nice sections of notes, where I love seeing study Bibles that at least add a couple of pages of just lined note paper at the back for you to take notes on. While this Bible itself, the margins aren't really big, so you can easily highlight and underline very easily on here, but notes would be kind of difficult to have anything other than a small reference or something like that. But actually having a little bit of note paper to write out a little bit more extensive of a note, I really love seeing that. And you get into the maps in the back. So these are the full color, full page maps. Slightly thicker paper. I like the way they do their maps. They're clean, easy to read. And as we open up the back, it's the paste out and then the back of the Bible itself. So overall, I really like this study Bible. So this helps you get more insights into, faithful living and how to apply the grace and truth that is in the scriptures to your daily life. So I recommend this, and I really like the way that Zondervan had laid this one out. Yeah, all in all, it's another great one that I would recommend as a study aid. So that brings us to the end of this video, and we'd like to bring more of these to you guys in the future. All we ask is to like, subscribe, and let us know if you like this, so that way we can bring more to you in the future. So until then, have a good day, evening, night, wherever it is where you're at, and we will see you in the next video in the future.